So getting a perfect credit score can literally save you hundreds of thousands of dollars. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about the top 5 tips that I use to get a credit score over 800. Now, yes, the absolute perfect you can get is 850, but guys, cut me some slack. I'm only 23, so I hope you guys will enjoy this video. If you guys get anything in value out of it, hit that like button, subscribe, and this is all going to be tips and tricks and things that I've done to improve my credit, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's jump into it. Let's go. So the reason why having good credit is important is because it can literally save you thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in your lifetime. Now, if you guys have bad credit or low credit, you're gonna get charged more in interest because the banks are unsure if you're gonna ever pay that money back. Compared to if you have excellent credit, you're gonna have a lower interest rate, and the banks are having a pretty good understanding that they're gonna get their money back. And honestly, that's pretty much why having good credit is important. So starting off with tip number 1 that I would highly recommend doing is setting up Autopay. Now, Autopay is just a way where you always make your payments on time, because the number 1 factor for your credit score is actually your payments. The banks wanna make sure that you are going to pay them back. That is key. That makes up about anywhere from 30 to 35% of your credit score. And if you guys are late on your payment, call your credit card, call your bank, call the provider, call the credit card company, say, hey, I can pay it today. Let's get this off my record. Try everything you guys can do to get a late payment off your record. It's very important that that bank does not hit you with that late payment on your credit score, because it can definitely take up a couple of points. Now, setting up Autopay for me was honestly the easiest thing I could have ever done for my mortgage, for my auto loans, for my credit cards. It makes everything very easy, and I don't have to worry about it. Now, you don't have to set them up where you have to pay them in full, for your credit card. You can just set it up where it hits that minimum payment, and that still won't affect your credit. But by far, the number 1 factor for your credit is making sure you're paying those on time. That is key. So the second thing that you guys can do to improve your credit is actually don't use all of your credit or credit cards. Don't use them. Try to keep it under 30%. Meaning, if you have a credit card for $1,000, don't spend more than $300 on that credit card. The reason why is a bank wants to make sure that, 1, you're responsible with your credit. A bank does not want to give you higher credit limits and lower interest if you're going out and you're balling out at the Gucci store maxing out your credit card. That's not responsible, and a bank knows that. Banks are very smart when it comes to that. So obviously, make sure that you're not using all of your credit. It's super important. It does make up a decent percentage in that credit score. But if you guys can keep it under 30%, it will definitely improve your credit score for sure. All right, the third thing that you guys can do, before we jump into that, hit that like button and subscribe right now. It means the world to me that you guys are watching this video and you guys made it this far, so stay tuned for the last couple of tips. All right, so the third thing that you guys can do to improve your credit is do not open multiple accounts in a short amount of time. This looks really bad. The reason why, look at it as if you are a bank. If you guys see somebody start trying to get as many credit cards as physically possible, you're gonna go, what is this guy doing? Maybe he's trying to max them out. Are we ever gonna get this money back? Honestly, what I recommend doing, it's okay to have multiple credit cards. That's completely fine. But space them out over about 90 days. I feel like 90 days is that sweet spot. Obviously, don't go day after day trying to get a credit card. It doesn't look super great. But I think 90 days to 6 months is that sweet spot. And honestly, that's what I've done, and it's done relatively okay for me. And honestly, all it does is just raises a small concern for the credit card companies, because they're just unsure on what you're doing. All right, the 4th tip that I would recommend doing to improve your credit score and get that perfect 850 over 800 credit score is don't cancel your credit cards. Now, I know you're saying right now, I can already hear it in the comments, Carter, what if I have a credit card that offers an annual fee and I'm done paying it? I don't want that. I'm young, I don't want to pay an annual fee. Call them. Say, hey, Capital One, I have the Venture card. I'm paying $99. I don't use it. Let me downgrade that card. Keep that credit line open. Just downgrade the card so I don't have to pay the annual fee. And honestly, most credit card companies, I've done it with American Express and Capital One. I've said, hey, I don't want to pay it this year. I'm going to downgrade my card or go somewhere else. And they've honestly waived the annual fee several times. So little tip, call them, speak to them, and get a feel on what they're doing. Honestly, never canceling a credit card is very, very important, because one of the most important factors with your credit is credit history. People and banks want to make sure that you've had credit for a while. The longer you've had credit, the better off you are. Honestly, I think that this is something that I could improve on just because I'm so young. I think that the older I get, the better my credit will be, because I've done all these tips and I'm continuing my credit history and growing that larger. So overall, just try not to cancel a card. Call them before you ever cancel it, online or on the app. And the fifth and final thing that you guys can do to improve your credit is be diversified with your credit. Now, what that means is don't be afraid to have a mortgage. Don't be afraid to have credit cards. Don't be afraid to have auto loans and student loans. Be diversified. Banks love to see, okay, Billy is paying his student loans, he's paying his credit cards in full, he's paying his car payment, his mortgage. He's pretty responsible with this credit. That's increased that credit score. That's pretty much it. Being diversified is very, very important. Banks love to see it. And it's something that I've done very, very well with my home, my auto loan, and honestly, you can take out a loan. If let's just say you want to buy a Tesla for 50 grand, you can take a loan out for 50 grand, hold it for 3 months, and then pay it off in full. And you will notice your credit score will skyrocket up because the banks go, wow, he paid his loan off really, really fast. We got our money back with a little bit of interest. He's very, very responsible with this credit, and you'll notice we've seen increases in credit scores after that. So guys, these are the top 5 tips to get that perfect credit score. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, hit the like button, subscribe. It means the world to me that you guys made it this far. We'll see you guys tomorrow in another episode. Remember to stay happy, stay positive, and stay safe out there. Take care, everyone. Peace out. Bam.